Mountain biking is something that's been around for a long time, but it's really gaining popularity right now.
Mountain biking is one of the top 5 fastest growing sports in the United States. That's a big deal.
I think it's definitely growing.
I'm Tim Carlton. I'm with Central Alabama Mountain Peddlers Camp. So today we're out and we're actually working on a new trail. It's an alternate that goes by some nice rock features and has some challenging technical lines for more advanced mountain bikers. And it's off of one of the trails that's accessible to just about any level of mountain biker. So it'll add some interest for the more advanced riders. So mountain biking in the park and in this area specifically has gotten very popular. We've been told from the state park that the number of yearly passes that have been sold has gone up substantially. The fun in mountain biking is really twofold. One is the opportunity to enjoy the great outdoors. It certainly is a sport that can offer some adrenaline for those that are looking for it. And it's just a different way to get outside and see, get some exercise and see the beauty that we have here in Alabama and elsewhere.
There's a lot of different kind of riders out there, so we have everything from the single track type technical stuff, good climbing areas, and of course nowadays we really love to see a lot of flow lines as well. So we like to have trails that are flowy, even if they are single track. It's fun to have nice flowy areas in it. There's a lot of riders that like the more advanced technical features, so we try to implement that as well. And when we have areas like this with a lot of rock and a decent amount of elevation, we can try to capitalize that.
I think the state of Alabama is very well positioned to be able to promote this activity to people out of state as something that can be done year-round, especially in the winter when it can't be done elsewhere.
Alabama has a unique opportunity in the southeast really to be a year-round destination for mountain biking. So when a lot of the popular areas for mountain biking are too cold or too wet because of the winter, Alabama has the opportunity to have riding year-round. And in the summer it's not nearly as hot as some of the desert southwest areas that are very popular. So it really gives a unique place for people to come in times when otherwise are the shoulder seasons elsewhere and mountain biking is not available. There's destinations all around Alabama, so really you could ride within 2 or 3 hours of here. You could ride a new trail every day for a week.
The Auburn-Opelika Tourism Bureau became involved with camp about 2 years ago through hearing about the work that camp was doing out at the park. It's a group of very devoted and dedicated, loyal volunteers. And so, again, we just started to hear about it and wanted to get involved and get behind them. We saw a great opportunity to bring a new product, if you will, to the Auburn-Opelika area. It's like nothing that exists or did exist before. Mountain biking is a growing sport, so it was important to us and again, a great opportunity for us to sort of jump on to the front end of some product development and something that would be impactful for visitors to the area.
In our recreational trails program, we're able to work with several different types of organizations like cities and counties, the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, and lots of local volunteer groups. We have an excellent example of a multi-team approach to one of our programs at Chewacla in Auburn. The Central Alabama Mountain Peddlers came to us for our funds to develop a biking trail, and they were able to partner with the city of Auburn to do some gap financing while they were waiting for reimbursement under our program. They worked with DCNR at the state park that's where the location of the trails actually are. And the local volunteers did much of the construction, and they hired contractors, so there was an economic impact as well on that program.
We have been very fortunate to have many good partners, and the partners take on a variety of forms. We've got great partnering with state government and Adeca in the form of the opportunity to pursue recreational trail program grants and Land and Water Conservation Fund grants. And we're also fortunate to have many localized clubs and groups as partners at the park setting that not only help us take care of the parks and support our missions, but they'll they'll pursue some of these grant opportunities on our behalf to forward their interests and our interests. And that's what has happened over at Chewacla State Park with camp and the interest in mountain biking over there. We would not have been able to do any of that without camp. And they have been a fantastic partner. And the way this has worked as a three-legged stool between us, Adeca, and camp is a perfect model for what we should be doing at other park settings.
The partnership is very, very, very effective and important for us. Without that, of course, none of this could happen. And in our case, we also partnered up with the city of Auburn. In order to enact our grant, we needed their support to help us get that started.
With grants, Adeca has helped camp out significantly. Our first grant we're just finishing up now, which we used to build 6.5 miles of new trail. What we can do with grant trails, we can build trails that are on a level and a difficulty that we can't build by hand. So we can build easier trails and we can build smaller trail beds by hand, but really the grant allows us to build trails that we otherwise would be unable to.
The Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs in the Community and Economic Development Division has a Community Services Unit, and within our unit we have both the Recreational Trails Program and the Land and Water Conservation Fund program. These two programs work really well together because we're able to touch just about any type of outdoor recreation that you could imagine. The Land and Water Conservation Fund deals primarily with parks and ball fields. We can do things on the water, anything that's outdoor recreation. Recreational trails is more specifically trails and trail-related facilities, and we've got trails all through the state. Adeca funds these projects. We review the projects, the proposals that come in. We provide technical assistance to communities and nonprofit groups who are developing these projects to help them be more competitive in our rating process. And then once the projects are funded, we review them for compliance. We assist them with getting the funds from the federal partners, the funding agencies, and we also help them through the implementation and development of the project. So we partner with these groups throughout the life of the project. Many of them are multi-phased projects, so we start with them when they first come up with an idea, and we stick with them for many years through many projects to see a complete park or facility be developed.
It's very important to us, again, to get behind projects in the community and activities in the community that bring an impact. That's our goal and our mission as a tourism bureau, is to bring visitors to the area and to bring their cash into the area. So economic impact is the driving force behind everything that we do.
We know from a recent study that the state of Alabama's park system has an annual economic impact within the state and the communities that are around these parks that approaches $500 million a year. We know for certain that the recreational trails are a huge component of that economic engine.
The demographic of the typical mountain biker is pretty broad, but we see folks who have a large disposable income. Bikes aren't cheap. I mean, you can get an inexpensive bike, but if you're serious about mountain biking, you've got expensive equipment. You've got water bottles, you've got outfitting, and you've got special shoes, hats, everything. And those things, folks like to buy them on site sometimes. Repairs are often necessary. Backup gear is often necessary.
It's a higher financial demographic. They spend a lot, they make a lot.
And they stay in a hotel or they'll camp in a nearby campground. They buy food, they like to shop, and they also seek entertainment. So there is a real economic impact with this group.
They come, they spend the night, and they spend money. If we get an overnight guest in the area, they're going to spend 3 times as much as they would if they were just here for the day. But even if they just come for the day, then that's money that they're bringing into the community, eating, shopping, paying admission to the park, going to the breweries, doing the things that, the activities that surround mountain biking and travel in general.
The proximity of our trail system to developed areas allows us to market our trail system in a way where there is a greater economic impact to those nearby communities.
I actually sold my home and bought one closer to the park So I love to be right out here. I'm out here as much as I can be and get to come out, and I love seeing new people come out and enjoy it as well. At the end of the day, we get new trails to ride, and we get to get other people into the sport. So really, if you build it, they will come, right?